you're too old to have fun. And I have an extreme life, and I have to have extreme pleasure. And it's one of the places, a few places in the world, in fact the only place in the world that I know of, where a grown man can hit another with a big stick and get away with it. It is a lot of fun, but it's more than just fun. It's the challenge. You know, it's doing something that you've been told you can't do because you're too old, or you can't do it because you got a broken back. Well, since when was a broken back a prerequisite for not having fun? Okay? Well, the problem is, if we lay around, then we'll start aching and moaning and groaning. And you're all here as silvers because you quit moaning and groaning and started living your life. Right? Yeah. And I'll bet you don't have to raise your hand for this, but I'll bet there's a whole bunch of you that can look back a few years and remember when you were moaning and groaning. And now you don't even have time for it because you're too excited, you're too busy changing people's lives, right? And more importantly, living your dreams, okay? And lighting the fire of those around you to create the realization that you can do anything you want. And I'll never forget the day that I stood in front of that old visitor center up there when it was a barn and the cows and chickens and pigs were in it. And Mary said, "You're what?" I said, "Honey, I'm going to clean that out and I'm going to remodel it and this will become the visitor center." She says, "For who?" And the parking lot, as some of you might have heard me mention, was a feed lot with 5 feet of manure in it when we started digging it out and hauling down there. And I said, "Honey, this feed lot's going to become a parking lot. And one day you'll see it so full of cars, we'll have to build a parking lot on the other side of the highway." And they did that today. Maybe it didn't happen as quickly as I wanted to, but it happened a lot quicker than most folks thought it would. But, you know, and this is the thing, as silvers, and, you know, you came here with the titles of silver. But I don't see, as I look around, I don't see a single silver here. I see Royal Crown Diamonds. That's what I see. And you know, with all of you as Royal Crown Diamonds, you have seen enough now at the level of silver to know the difference Young Living's making in the world. If you all become Royal Crown Diamonds by this time next year, imagine the change that will happen in this world. Okay? The ripple effect that creates. I mean, it's monumental. And it was such a joy, because another part of my dream was creating a destination place in the world for people to come that weren't Young Living people, that could come with their children and put their hands in the dirt, that could come and pet an animal, that could come and smell the oil in the distillery and see the distillation and start asking questions. And we accomplished that today because we had 3 times more public here than we had distributors. For the very first time. Wow. I mean, for you all today, it should have been shopping paradise. Okay? Because I had so many people that came from the public yesterday and last night for the bull riding and came up to me and, "Mr. Young, where can we get information? I think we need to be part of your company." I mean, it was so beautiful. That was another part of my dream. Because, you know, it's not about trying to talk somebody into becoming a distributor. It's about letting them discover it. By living an example and creating so much excitement and interest out there, they just get ants in their pants with envy because they're not. Okay? And that's what we all want to be. We all want to be walking billboards of an example of what can be, and you are. And as silvers, that's one of your great responsibilities now as you go forward, is always carrying that mantle of being proud, but prudent and humble. And sharing with the world, because we have something that doesn't exist any place in the world. We have 12 Teamsters here today, and their employees and family members that brought 8 up teams to come and compete. And these people have been all over the United States and Canada in horse shows and competitions. And they said to me yesterday and today, and many of our employees, that this is the best they've ever experienced any place in North America. And well, it was really a great reward and a great joy for us. And you know, another thing that was really a beautiful compliment for us today was these folks have been to so many shows around North America that they said to come to a show that was the very first show, the very first time, they kind of expected to see a lot of disasters. And they said, we have just been blown away that there hasn't been one single disaster. And you know, when the little horses, the miniatures acted up in the arena this morning or this afternoon at the parade, some of you were here, some of you weren't perhaps, and you didn't see that, and the 6 up on the stagecoach, they got a little anxious and they were rearing in the air. You know, people come up to me and says, Kerry, was that planned? I said, absolutely. I said, it was all part of the show. You know, folks, and that's part of life, and part of being a leader is you just roll with whatever hits you when you don't expect it. But you never let anybody know that you're down in the mouth, or you're depressed, or you're upset because it didn't go the way you thought it should go. Because that's life. And that's one of the things working with animals will teach you, is you learn to improvise, you learn to adjust, you learn to adapt, and you just keep going. And the show never stops. All right? And yes, there are days, and every one of us experience it, when we feel like, oh, God, I just can't do this any longer. It's just too much. I called Mary Thursday evening, and I said, honey, I am so tired. I have pushed so hard, and I'm so tired. I don't know if I can get through this weekend. She said, you'll be fine. and I think I'm fine. I haven't had time to check. So that's another big part of it, is when you're busy, you don't have time to look and decide if you're not happy. Okay? Because you'll become happy just by doing. When I looked through the park today, and I drove back and forth, and I walked back and forth between the barns and here and the jousting arena and that, and I saw all the people. You sitting here was just a small portion of it. And it was such a joy. But when I saw all the people, I saw the children running, playing, laughing, telling Mommy they don't want to go home. Mommy, can we stay here? Mommy, can we come back tomorrow? Daddy, can I have a Frisian horse? I even had some mamas ask for a Frisian horse. And a couple of husbands. And that's what gives me joy, is to know that in some small way, we stimulated a difference in people's lives. We created people to dream. A little lady came up to me last night after the rodeo, and she grabbed me and just hugged me. And she wasn't a distributor. She just came from Payson. In fact, her son won the bull riding competition last night, and I got to present him his prize money, and it was really a great honor. But she came up and hugged me, and she says, Mr. Young, and I said, no, it's Gary. It's Gary. And she says, I've always wanted to get on a big horse. Could I sit on your horse? And I said, absolutely. And then she says, you know, I'd really like to joust. And I said, well, you're talking to the right person. So as of today, we've recruited 2 women that are going to train for jousting now. So when you come next year, maybe we'll have a female jousting troupe. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. I just don't know if I'd ever go up against them though. But it is. So folks, while you're here this weekend and all that you learned yesterday and those that presented to you, look at every situation around you and just ask yourself, how can I leverage this in my life? How can I take this and compound it to create greatness for myself and those around me and those in my organization? What can I take back that will be the diamonds that will stimulate my people and help them to grow beyond their issues and problems, because we all have it. We all have it. The key is focusing on what we don't have, not what we've had. Not what we've been through, but what we're going to create. Not what we think, but what we're going to think. Because too many times we get in a space where we start looking back at hard times or uncomfortable times or situations, and we start feeling like we're miring down. And you know, I just want you to keep this in mind. If you ever feel that way, just get on the plane and come to Utah, and I'll put some armor on you and take you out in that arena, and you'll forget all about your problems. I guarantee you. All right? Or you come and we'll put you on one of those big show horses, or on one of my dancing Frisians. And if you don't have one, and you'd like to have one, everything is possible. All right? And as you grow, and as you become, as you are, royal diamonds, anything that you write on a piece of paper, you can create. All right? God gave you that as your gift, and you came to earth. And don't forget, all things are possible for he who believes, but more importantly, for he who knows. If you can think it, you can achieve it. All right?
Amen.
I expect to see you all walking across stage here in June with Royal Crown Diamonds. All righty?